What is the worst TV show you've ever watched? Bridalplasty, where engaged women compete to win cosmetic surgery procedures in time for the big day. When a contestant was voted off, the presenter said something along the lines of "You will still be getting married, but you won't be perfect." Makes my skin crawl just thinking about it. Reminds me of The Swan, a show where they turn ugly ducklings into swans. Not as cringy as Bridalplasty, but close. I remember being in high school when that show came out and realizing how misleading the advertising for shows could be. They kept showing a cut of one of the surgeons going, "It's a scalpel, not a magic wand," so that it seemed like he was being a jerk and saying some women are too ugly to fix. I watched the first episode and the actual scene was from when he saw the woman's reaction the first time she looked in the mirror after the surgery. He was actually saying something to the effect of "It's a scalpel, not a magic wand, but you can feel like you are doing magic," and he was basically just really happy that he was able to help the woman feel so happy that she was driven to tears when she looked in the mirror. Still can't believe that show ever got greenlit. Lol. The early 2000s were a really weird time. I'll never forget one of the episodes where Fiank was super supportive throughout the transformation, and after her reveal she talked about dating again to find someone more attractive now that she was. Early 2000s reality show called The Swan. Bunch of female ugly ducklings get a shit ton of plastic surgery, then compete in a beauty contest. Everything about it was in really bad taste, but I still watched. I'm not proud. Finding Bigfoot, specifically the episode where they thought Bigfoot wanted a dance party so they had a rave in the middle of the forest. Bigfoot did not attend. So all these Bigfoot shows talk about using Bigfoot mating calls. What is their plan if Bigfoot runs out? Full red rocket looking for Lady Bigfoot Poon. How do they know what a Bigfoot mating call sounds like? Imagine how much thought they have put in and practiced that before going on camera. I bet it sounds like the mating call of a human in a bear suit, but blurrier. Does anybody remember Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire? It was like The Bachelor, but they couldn't see the guy, they were literally and unabashedly only attracted to his money. Turned after air that everyone was a con artist. My buddies and I watched Joe Millionaire when it came out because it was hilarious. Basically, all the girls were told this dude was super rich, but in reality he was just a pretty good-looking construction worker. I think the girl who won lost her shit when it was revealed he wasn't a millionaire. Ada, apparently she didn't lose her shit, but she wasn't exactly pleased and they didn't stay together once the show ended. She was subdued but disappointed. She and him ended up winning $1 million at the finale. The runner-up girl was the real bitch about it. America's Next Top Model. I loved it at the time, but looking back it was just a bunch of Tyra Banks bullying young girls. This one episode a girl giggled during a commercial challenge because she was having such a good time and Tyra Banks looked at her with those dead eye and said, "This feels like you're making fun of me, of the whole modeling industry. Do you think this is a game?" That poor girl. Lol. I mean, there are contestants competing for a single prize. Seems like a game to me. Queen for a Day. A few years ago I looked up the worst TV shows and this one puts everything to shame. It started in 1945 and 4 poor mothers go on the show to beg for money. Typically, it's a mom crying that she can't afford a wheelchair for her disabled son. The Queen gets chosen by a studio applause meter. This isn't even fake reality like we're used to. Contestants would hyperventilate and have body language that you could tell they were not faking. The gifts were tied to the sponsors. The show has 10 million viewers in the 50s and lasted from 1945 to 1964. If you thought modern reality TV was bad, this is the most dystopian shit I've ever seen. Dr. Phil, terrible on every count, exploits vulnerable people for rating? Gives terrible advice? Offers quackery as solutions, manipulates video to create a false narrative? Is the host a terrible person? It's like awfulness bingo. Let's see. I raised 3 kids and anything the Disney Channel put out geared towards teens was terrible. The characters were all the same. Nerd kid, overweight kid, popular kid, snarky kid, overly hormonal kid, and adult to be the voice of reason. All of them were unwatchable. Which sucks. I have kids too and most of the shows are trash. Maybe it's just nostalgia goggles, but I'd rather watch what I watched as a kid with them. John and Kate +8. I was not surprised that marriage did not last. She was insufferable. Her famous do was the inspiration for the stereotypical Karen haircut. Went down a rabbit hole recently with them nowadays. 2 of the 6 live with John. The others with Kate. Lots of drama and accusations and lying. The two twins mostly hate them both and are trying to distance themselves but still care about their younger siblings. My Super Sweet 16 on MTV. I have no idea if it's still going or not. All I know is that years ago it was probably the only thing on television outside of the news that could make me physically ducking angry. For the uninitiated, here's the premise. Spoilt teenage bastards with rich parents plan their 16th birthday complete with all the trimmings imaginable. Limos, VIP passes for their friends and 1,000 invites for people they don't even know, booking Kanye West, and then to top it off being given fucking Ferraris, Camaros or Mustangs at the end and kicking off into hysterical tears because it wasn't the model they wanted or it was the wrong color, etc. I hated it. It represented everything I utterly dislike about a particular kind of wealthy people and their kids who have no idea what it's like to live a regular life, and yet I couldn't stop watching it for a while. I guess I just enjoy being a combination of frustrated, agitated and mildly jealous in equal measure. You missed how creepy it could be. I remember Eazy-E's daughter was on it and she got lingerie for her birthday present and they showed it. And one girl, at least, got a boob job for her birthday. But for the huge blowouts, I saw multiple interviews saying that the kids were basically forced to cry that the car was the wrong color for added drama. I Want to Marry Harry. I think it was on ABC? They didn't have enough ratings and cancelled after 5 episodes. But the fact that these women thought they were gonna marry Prince Harry was delusional. Every single Disney tween targeted show for the last 20 years. Exec, how do we make this show funny? Other exec, how about play the laugh track after every single sentence? Exec, brilliance. Disney Channel has never recovered since the Hannah Montana That's So Raven Sweet Life of Zack and Cody generation grew up. They've made some shows since then that aren't bad, but the whole tween sitcom formula that has been copied and pasted into so many different shows has long since run its course. Not to mention that kids just don't watch cable TV anymore. If you look at the Disney Channel right now, it's almost all reruns of old shows. It's actually really sad. Here Comes Honey Boo Boo. I felt so terrible for that whole family. Like sure, money, but to have the whole world looking into your house and going, oh God, look at these freaks. That's gonna duck you up. Edit, people saying don't feel bad, Alana was 6. She seems to be doing better now. I think her older sister has custody of her and she wants to become a nurse. Annoying Orange. Speaking of things on YouTube that got on TV, do you remember Fred had his own show on Nickelodeon, along with 3 movies? I'm pretty sure they gave him another show there as well. I knew that shit wasn't a fever dream. Secret Life of an American Teenager. Terrible show, and still managed to launch Shailene Woodley's career. Some of you have not seen Indian soap operas and it really shows. Here's a sample of their editing. True garbage, but it's almost hilarious. Edit, if anyone wants a peek into South Indian action movies, check out Shivaji the Boss. Warning, epilepsy nausea. There's one show, I don't know the name. There's a family in a mansion and suddenly an eagle flew the house. One of the character took out a crossbow from who knows where, and when he was about to shoot the eagle, his mom stops him and says, "Don't shoot, that is one of your siblings." I had to stop watching and rethink my life after that. What? Your siblings never morphed into giant eagles and flew into your parents' mansion, forcing you to pull out your trusty crossbow from where the sun don't shine to shoot it down? Have you ever lived, bro? Dr. Oz, promoting pseudoscience that can possibly hurt if not kill people. It's even worse when you realize he is a truly brilliant scientist and surgeon. Literally one of the best in the world at what he does. Has designed and patented surgical implants, published original research in peer-reviewed medical journals. But none of that comes with celebrity and adoring fans, I guess. The Chevy Chase talk show from the 90s. Now that is terrible TV. The only guest I remember from that show was a Mongolian singer who could sing a note while whistling a second note. Riverdale. Caillou. I saw one episode of this shit on YouTube. Caillou gets sick. The top comment, I was rooting for the disease.